Good morning, everyone. In this lecture, we will talk about database recovery. So, why we needed database recovery? So, when we were working in database, what we were seeing that because of some issues, some network issues, or some power failures, or because of some concurrent programs or concurrent transactions when working on the same system, our database got corrupted, or because of some issues the system get crashed. So for that we needed some recovery methods to maintain our database in a proper synchronized way, and we wanted our database to be used in each and every possible duration whenever we wanted our database to be done perform. So we should have our database in a consistent state. So for maintaining our database in consistent state, we need some algorithms, or we need some methods to maintain or to keep our database intact. So database recovery is done when our system got crashed or our database got crashed and we are not able to access the information in our database. So by using recovery methods, we can actually recover our data back, which got crashed or which was lost in between. So firstly, we'll talk about what are DBMS failures. So a database management system is susceptible to a number of failures. Like, a number of failures can happen in our database management system. So in a distributed database system, as generally we deal in distributed database system, so because so many users are actually working on the same database instead of a single user is working on a database system. So this entire scenario is generally in the distributed systems. So failures can be broadly categorized into soft failures, hardware failures, and network failures. So there are so many reasons of our system failures, so we generally categorize these failures into broadly into three types. First is soft failures, second is hard failures, and third is network failures. So what are these three failures? We will talk about these failures. First, soft failures. Soft failure is the type of failure that cause the loss in volatile memory of the computer. That means the and not in the persistent storage. That means the issues or the failures are not in the main memory, or are generally in the volatile storage. Volatile storage means the temporary storage. So volatile storage is actually known as the temporary storage, and the loss in temporary storage is generally does not create so much issue. Instead of the hard failures and network failures makes so much hassle for a database administrator to recover its database. Here the information stored in the non-persistent storage. Non-persistent storage, who are the non-persistent storage? Non-persistent storage are main memory, buffers, caches, or registers. That means our information which was actually present in our temporary storages, like main memory is temporary storage. We already talked about buffers in our previous sessions a lot. So we know that buffers actually store some temporary values of our operations, and caches are not nothing but are general links or general scenarios to get fast competition of our systems or registers. So our hard disk or the permanent storage will not get crashed in soft failures. Instead of failures non is of volatile storage. So what are various types of soft failures which we can see in our database system? The failures can be of operating system failures. That means our operating system gets failed because of some issues, then operating system failure get caused. Main memory crash, that means our volatile memory got crashed. Transaction failure or abortion, as we were looking uh, towards our serializability concepts or any recovery methods or any of the previous methods, concurrency control methods, we were seeing that because of some issues our transactions got aborted. In some transactions we are responsible for aborting our transaction. We abort our transaction because of the scenario of maintaining our database in consistent state. So fourth one is system generated error. What are the system generated error? The errors which are actually generated by our systems, like integer overflow. That means every integer has some specific range of value to be stored in it. If a new value is put in the system exceeding the actual value that can be stored in our integer, then the condition arises of integer overflow or divide by zero error. As we know that any of the statement which could divided by zero is actually going to give us the answer infinity or in the general mathematical concepts, but here anything which is divided by zero will give us a divide by zero error in database management system. Fifth one is failure of supporting software. That means if we are working in a software in our system and that software actually got crashed, suppose we are working on SQL. Okay, so SQL got crashed, or that failure is also known as the soft failure, poor failure. Like suppose if we are working on our database and suddenly because of a power cut or our battery got discharged and we lost our data in that case, so this is also known as soft failure. Second are the hard failures. So what are the hard failures? Hard failure is a type of failures that cause loss of data in a persistent or non-volatile storage like this. That means this type of non-volatile storage is a permanent storage or the primary storage, like the storage done in hard disk is known as the non-volatile storage memory, or disk blocks or any of the content which should be stored in the permanent memory storage is known as non-volatile storage. So any failure in this type of scenarios is known as hard failures. Disk failures may cause corruption of data in some disk blocks or failure of the total disk. So these failures can cause a failure in all disk blocks or in specific blocks of the data. Either our all disk will get crashed or the some specific blocks will get crashed here. The cause of a hard failure are, what are the causes of hard failure? They can be power failure. Sometimes because of the power failures our complete data get lost and we are not able to recover any of the data. So that type of data is actually the hard failure. Faults in media. Suppose we when we download some files in our system that get corrupted sometimes, or that or because of some format error or any of the issues or any of the virus, our media which was working earlier but is not working now is also a fault in media and is hard failure. So this type of error is very difficult to recover. Read write malfunction. That means there is an overflow of read and write operations. Corruption of information on disk. That means our information that is present on disk get corrupted because of some issue. Read write head crash of disk. Read write head is actually responsible to read or write of any variable. So this type of crash is also a hard failure. So recovery from disk failure can be short if there is a new formatted and ready to use disk on reserve. That means if we have some new disk that is ready to use, so we can simply replace our older disk to our new disk and then get recover our data. So third type of errors is network failure. So network failure, as the name suggests, is the failures which occurs in the time of networking or in the time of transmission of our data. So network failures are prevalent in distributed or network databases. These comprises of the errors induced in the database system due to the distributed nature of the data and transferring data of the network. That means when a sender is trying to send some data to the receiver and our data got corrupted in between the transmission media, then these type of failures are known as the network failures error. So the causes can be power failure can be the issue, communication link failure, information corruption during transfer. Our information get corrupted when we were actually trying to transfer our data from sender to receiver. It get corrupted because of some noise or some issue or some theft. Site failures, or when we are working on a site, suppose if I'm using some database on a online scenario, or I'm working on an oracle, suppose on an oracle medium, and I'm working on a site of oracle, and my site got crashed or site got some issues, then my complete data get failed. So these are the three main types of the failures. Now we'll talk about database recovery. So when our data get corrupted, so we always want our data to be in a persistent or in a consistent state. So database recovery is the process of recovering or restoring data in the database. That means this is a process to recover our data back that get lost or get deletes because of some issues. The issues can be any crash or any data hacking or any error in the transaction. As we have already seen what are the crashes in the, or what are the errors in the transaction which can actually happen, or damage that occurred coincidentally. That means which was not intended to be occurred, but somehow it get raised, and that causes some failure or some loss of information in our disk, or by some viruses or sudden terrible failure in our systems. So these are because of this scenario, we our data get lost or get deleted, and database recovery methods are actually used to get back our data, so that we can actually make a use of our data again, because as we already know that data is very important for to us, and loss of data means loss of information, and loss of information can actually make a big loss to to a database administration or administrator, or any user, or any of the person who is actually willing to use the information in database management system, if there are not proper database recovery methods present in a database. So this will actually cause a big harm to the company who are actually providing the database to the users. So data loss or failures happen in the databases like other systems, but the data stored in the database should be available whenever it is required. That means loss or failure can happen. So this is some sort of thing which can actually happen with any of the person. So but if this happen, even then we should be able to use that data. So for fast restoration or recovery of data, the database must hold tools which recover the data efficiently. There are some tools which can actually help us to recover our data. So we have already known about the backups. So these backups are actually helpful for getting our data back. So either by using some backup or by using some specific software tools or some statistics or some protocols, we can actually recover our data. So it should have atomicity, that is either transactions are completely successful and committed. Database recovery is suitable when our transactions or our procedures are in atomicity, are atomic, because atomic means either our transactions will be fully completed, and if any of the error will arise in between of the completing scenario, our whole transaction will get aborted, and we need to pursue each and every step of the transactions again. So the techniques used to recover the lost data due to system crash, transaction errors, viruses, catastrophic failure, incorrect command execution are database recovery techniques. That means when my data was lost because of any of these issues, if we can recover that data, and if by using some methods, that methods are actually known as the database recovery techniques. So to prevent data loss, recovery techniques based on deferred update and immediate update or backing up data can be used. So these are the two methods which will be used in log based recovery methods. Recovery techniques are heavily dependent upon the existence of a special file known as a system log. As we already know that each and every file has some system, has a log file in our computers. When we see a data which is present in our system or in our or any of the file which is present in our system, we are able to see that some log files are present in our systems. So these log files are generated for making uh, our database consistent. Whenever some error occur, we can actually restore our data by using that logs. It contains information about the start and end of each transaction and any updates which occur in the transaction. Actually, these system logs are responsible for telling us that what was the start of the transaction and what is the end of the transaction, and what are the procedures that the transaction has in between. So these are the maintained by the system logs. The log keeps track of all transaction operations that affects the value of database items. This information is needed to recover from transaction failure. So by far I have told you about what are the database failures. So I generally categorize the database failure into three types: hard failures, soft failures, and the network failures. Then I started talking about the database recovery. Why we needed database recovery? Because हमें क्या चाहिए, जब भी हमारा डेटा कभी लॉस हो जाता है या कभी कोई एरर आ जाता है या कभी हैक हो जाता है, इंफॉर्मेशन थेफ्ट हो जाती है, हमें हमेशा चाहिए कि हम उस डेटा को वापस से यूज़ कर पाएँ। तो उस सब के लिए हम एक्चुअल में डेटाबेस रिकवरी मेथड्स जो हैं वो यूज़ करते हैं. सो वी जनरली कैटेगराइज्ड आर डेटाबेस रिकवरी मेथड्स इनटू टू टाइप्स. फर्स्ट इज log based recovery and the second is shadow based. Okay, so what is log based recovery? Logs are the sequence of records that maintains the record of actions performed by a transaction. Logs are nothing but are the sequence of records that will tell us which transaction was executed first, or which transaction came into the picture first, and which is the older and which is the younger. In log based recovery, log of each transaction is maintained in some stable storage. Here our all storages are actually mm, maintained in a stable tabular formation, in some stable storage information. If any failure occurs, it can be recovered from there to recover the database. That means if any failure occurred, so by using that logs we can actually recover our data. The log contains the information about the transaction being executed, values that have been modified, and transaction state. All these informations will be stored in the order of execution. All the information of the transaction and what these transactions are actually doing is stored in our system, and it will even store the order of the execution of any program. So for log based recovery, the log keeps track of all transaction operations that affects the value of database items. That means that log will keep the information. log के पास log वही अपने आप में वो वाली information ही रखेगा जो crucial information है, और या वो वाली information जो एक्चुअल में हमारे डेटाबेस जो है डेटाबेस आइटम्स पे क्या हो रहे हैं उनकी वैल्यू से अफेक्ट कर रही हैं. So this information is needed to recover from transaction failure. When we are actually trying to recover our data because of some transaction failures, this log based recovery is actually helpful for our systems. So the log is kept on disk start transaction T. This start transaction T will actually have the information when this particular transaction was actually started. Read item tx, this is going to tell us that transaction T reads the value of database item named x. read means read क्या बता रहा है कि यहाँ पे हम कुछ वैल्यू पढ़ रहे हैं. ठीक है. T means transaction, x is the variable that we are actually intent to read. Write item tx old value new value. So in the format of log based recovery, when you have seen, right, that means some item get was written here. T means transaction and x means the variable on which we are actually working. So we are simply replacing my new value with my old value here, or I'm making some updation here. So this is the format how to update any information. Commit T. Commit T will tell us that the permanent changes are made on our disk of the transactions which we have made, or which changes we have already made in our systems will be saved now in our disk. अबोट टी, दैट मीन्स अबोट टी मीन्स कि हमने अपनी जो ट्रांजेक्शन है उसको कुछ एरर आ गया था या कोई भी इशू की वजह से हमने वापस से ही अपनी ट्रांजेक्शन को अबोट कर दिया, उसके जितने भी उसने ऑपरेशंस परफॉर्म किए हैं वो सब नल हो जाएंगे, वो सब का जो भी इफ़ेक्ट हो रहा था हमारे वेरिएबल पर सब नल हो जाएगा, और हम स्टार्ट से अपने कोर से फिर से इनिशियलाइज करके सारे ऑपरेशन फिर से करेंगे. चेक पॉइंट कुछ नहीं होता. चेक पॉइंट इसलिए मैकेनिज़्म में यूज़ किया जाता है कि जो हर जगह पे स्पोर्ट्स पे जाके चेक करता रहता है कि हमारे जो प्रीवियस जितने भी ऑपरेशंस हुए हैं वो एक्यूरेट हुए हैं या नहीं हुए. ठीक है, अगर नहीं हुए तो चेक पॉइंट आर एक्चुअली रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर declaring that our database is in consistent states. Then here we have an example of log based recovery. Like suppose, let's take an example. We want to modify the address of an employee. Okay, so these are some following steps. In log 1, transaction is initiated, writes start log. This means tn start is telling me that this transaction has started. Log 2, transaction modifies the address from Pune to Mumbai. As I have already told you, we needed to update. That means T is representing the transaction. Address is the variable which we are actually trying to update. Pune is my old value and Mumbai is my new value. See, here we have written write item tx old value new value. So this is the format. In log 3, transaction is completed. Now our transaction is successfully completed. Now that log indicates the tn commit means that is telling us that our transaction was successfully saved and was successfully executed, and now we are saving our transaction in our disk. So generally there are two methods in log based recovery. What these two methods are: first method is deferred database modification and second is immediate data modification. डेफर्ड मॉडिफिकेशन क्या बोलता है कि जितने भी ऑपरेशन या जितनी भी ट्रांजेक्शन्स हैं वो सब क्रिएट हो रही हैं और एक स्टेबल स्टोरेज सिस्टम में उनका क्या सारा का सारा जो लॉग है वो हम रख रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो जो हमारी अभी हमने जिस एग्जांपल में बात करी थी इसमें क्या था कि इसके जितने भी रोग रिकॉर्ड्स हैं वो बनाए गए, सेव किए गए एक जगह पे. उसके बाद ही हमारे जब सारे के सारे स्टेप्स जितने भी हमने करने थे वो करने के बाद ही हमारा जो कमिट ऑपरेशन हुआ. दैट मीन्स हमने पहले उसका स्टार्ट क्रिएट करा, फिर हमने उसकी वैल्यूज़ जो है पुणे से मुंबई में चेंज करी. ये ऑपरेशंस होने के बाद ही हम कमिट कर रहे हैं. दैट मीन्स डेफर्ड will update my value after execution of every possible step in that transaction. Whereas in immediate database modification, यहाँ पे अगर हम हर स्टेप पे क्या करेंगे, जैसे जैसे एक एक स्टेप एग्जीक्यूट होगा या एक लोग एग्जीक्यूट होगा या एक लोग अपडेट होगा, वैसे के साथ ही उसकी इन्फॉर्मेशन जो है वो हम मॉडिफाई कर देंगे. मतलब हर एक साइकिल में और हर एक लॉग में हम उसकी जो स्टोरेज है वो कर रहे हैं. इंस्टेड ऑफ डूइंग ऑल एट वंस वी आर डूइंग इट एट every specific step. So after log based recovery we have shadow paging. This is also a database recovery method. Shadow paging is an alternative to log based recovery. This is an alternate method. So this scheme is useful if transactions execute serially. What serial transactions are? Serial transaction means if I have two transactions T1 and T2, either T1 will execute all its operation first and then we will proceed towards our T2, or T2 will execute all its operations and then T1 will be executed. It maintains two page tables during the lifetime of a transaction. Shadow paging has two tables named as the first page table is named as the current page table and the second is named as the shadow page table. So when the transaction starts, both tables are identical. At the start of the transaction, when there is no data item or no operation has performed, so these two tables will look identical. The shadow page is never changed during the life of the transaction. There will not be any change in the shadow page table. Only current page table will be updated regularly. So whenever any write operation occurs, so current page will be updated. Each table entry points to a page on the disk. Every table entry will point some value or will act as a pointer on the disk. When the transaction is committed, the shadow page entry becomes a copy of the current page table entry and the disk block with the old data is released. Like see, if the shadow is stored in non-volatile storage and a system crash occurs, then the shadow page table is copied to the current page table. What I am trying to say that startingly we have some page address and we have current page and shadow. In this, at the time of initiation, current page and shadow page will लुक आइडेंटिकल, दोनों सेम सेम दिखेंगे. और करंट पेज पे कोई भी डेटा की मॉडिफिकेशन उसने करी है, कोई भी राइट ऑपरेशन हुआ है तो डिस्क पे पहले वो ऑपरेशन हुआ, ठीक है. और वो जो वैल्यू थी, उस डिस्क की जो वैल्यू थी, वो अभी ये जो फर्स्ट डिस्क की जो उसने मॉडिफाई करी है वो वैल्यू अब शेडो पेज में जाके कॉपी हो जाएगी और एक उसकी डिस्क की एक और शेडो बन जाएगी जो अब जितनी भी चेंजेस होगी करंट पेज उस पर चेंजेस करेगा. और अगर नीचे वाली कोई भी, जैसे सेकंड डायग्राम में हम देख रहे हैं, नीचे वाली जो डिस्क है, इफ़ दिस डिस्क गॉट क्रैश्ड, then by using that shadow page table we can actually get our data back. So this is the recovery method. So whenever any page is about to be written for the first time, a copy of image is made onto an unused page. That means here we have generated a copy. The current page table is then made to point to the copy. Like in this example, in the left side, the current page has made a point to the copy. The update is performed on the copy. So any of the updation will performed, it will performed on the lower green box, that means the lower copy of that disk. So here we are going to end our lecture on database recovery. Thank you so much.